scream bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
Hey everybody, it's Paul from Gold Gauntlet Comics. Today is Friday, November 22nd, 2019. I for Indies. Today we're going to be talking about 2000 AD featuring Judge Dredd. This is a publication that was in London, and it started in 1977. Judge Dredd started out in issue number 2. And as many of us know, Judge Dredd went on to wider acclaim, being both published here in the United States by Eagle Comics at first, then going on to becoming a movie with Sylvester Stallone. Actually, I think there's 2 or 3 movies. It came out in the 90s. But it had its humble beginnings in 1977 in this anthology, weekly anthology comic called 2000 AD. This came out in 1983, as you see there, Prague 304, in orbit every Monday. One thing that astonished me when I found these, here's the other one, by the way, that I have in my collection, is here we are 37 years later, and the color and the art has really withstood the test of time. Now, as you see, these came in some nice archival bags to protect them. But even after 37 years, you'd think that this would start to fade a little bit more or smear or what have you. But they're pristine. And you'll see from the inside as well. I also wanted to show you, look at the detail on this back cover. Isn't that gorgeous? So let's take a look at the first inside. So it's published every Monday by IPC Magazines. IPC was a division of Time Magazine. And I believe that the comic part, or this part, was by Fleetway, or it was named Fleetway. All the characters for Fleetway, including Judge Dredd, were bought up by Rebellion Developers, which is a game developer in England. And that's who currently owns it now. They bought it in the late 90s. So you go through, it's all black and white. But the work on it's amazing. Look at the shading here with the lights. I like this with the musical notes. The credit card for 2000 AD. Script robot, Grant Goyer. Art robot, Ian Gibson. Lettering robot, Steve Potter. Some really good artwork in this. And the writing is spot on as well. I can see how they got popular so quick. The panels, too, are really large, which I think is really cool. I think that this newspaper format helped them to make larger panels and to spread out a little bit more so that it wasn't blotchy and blurred and, fall to the problems of newspaper print. Look at that. Eagle Comics. Magic of 3D. Free 3D spectacles. You can hear Sonny drinking over there. Thanks for editorial, Sonny. Appreciate it. Okay. And then here's the next one. Look at that. This is an interior comic. See 2000 AD Prague 1. See assembly instructions overleaf. A blast from the past. Page 23. So this is the first one. I mean, right from the beginning, they were doing an outstanding job. Sorry about getting the shadows in here. And then here's our other pages. So you could literally take this out and turn it into a comic book. It was their first Prague. So here's the next story, High Rock. Harry 20 on the High Rock. Once again, great use of ink in this. Look at that visual effect there and the cross hatching here. Look at that. Outstanding black and white work. I really like that too. I noticed that when I was skimming this before. Now I'm still researching this. There's a lot of information out there. There's a 2-hour documentary out about 2000 AD Judge Dredd that I only made it through probably about an hour of. Gosh. Look at that cross hatching there. And over here, action video, the Megazar Video Games Guide, number 4. Demon Attack. Boy, how we have progressed, huh? Okay, and then for your Judge Dredd, it's a full color layout. I think this is the poster. Prezzel Logic. And there you have your people for this. Your creators. Script by T.B. Grover. Art Ron Smith. Lettering T. Frame. I mean, look how good these colors are for newspaper print. Like I said, 37 years later. Jeez. And you can see that they pretty much kept to the style of Judge Dredd that they started with the the helmet, the big overlays for his bullets, I think, or is that his vest? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen Judge Dredd. Utility belt. Look at that. Absolutely love it. Perspective's spot on in it. Great cross hatching. Look at that motorcycle. A lot of action in this one. I noticed that in the other one too, that there was a lot of great action. Part of the research I read is that the Judge Dredd name was actually, at first, Judge Dredd, D-R-E-A-D, was based on a ska reggae artist in England. I can't recall the name, but they later decided to turn it to Judge Dredd, D-R-E-E, or D-R-E-D-D. And there's one of the original writer, he held on to the character after selling some other characters. He just couldn't let it go. He wanted to develop it further. It was almost like an obsession from what I read. So he held on to it, and thank goodness he did. I really like that too. Next Prague, Trapper Hag comes to town. Look at the surfaces on this too. I mean, they did this weekly. Think about that. And here's Tharg and the mice. The credit card, script robot, TMO. Art robot, Azcora. Lettering robot, Jack Potter. Interesting note on Azcora. He actually left the company because they had hired somebody else to draw Dredd. He was drawing Dredd at first. He got a little irritated because the other person started drawing him, and according to popular rumor, he left because he was not happy about that. He considered that his character. He still had amazing art. I mean, look at this. I love this part. Mousetrap. And of course, this has your humor, your British humor in it, of course. Traditional British humor. You'll see it if you can read it as we're going. If not, just pause. Gorgeous. That's cool too. Look at how it comes down like that. Your notes. What a way to convey notes. I like that. I mean, if I didn't know better, you'd think this was just published yesterday. And then your final story here is Rogue Trooper, Fort Nero, Part 13. Your credit card on that. Script robot, Jerry Finley Day. RA robot, Cam Kennedy. Lettering robot, Bill Nuttall. Compu 73E. Love that. Look at that detail on there. So I'm trying to do this so I don't get the shadow in there. Real beautiful work in here. Got this. So, just wanted you to soak that all in as you're looking at this amazing work. Some of this reminds me a little bit of, almost like, I don't know, Ripley's Believe It or Not. The style is really familiar to me. And over here you have your ad for Buster. Trapper Hag. Next prog will be Trapper Hag, Alien Bounty Hunter, and Mega City 1. Mega City, of course, are the cities on the continent in Judge Dredd. Then here's your Chronicles. And, of course, the back page once again. Just look at the art on that. I mean, gosh. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And look how it just looks so good. So that's that. 2000 AD with featuring Judge Dredd. I think the lesson you learn from this is sometimes your popular characters come from the most humble places. I mean, here you are, Judge Dredd, multi-million, maybe even more dollar character through movies and comics, starts out in a newspaper print in London. I just think that's cool. I love it. So, programming note, don't forget, next Thursday, Hulk Fever is now being rebranded. We're going to be doing Hulk, Wolverine, and Daredevil. I decided to switch it up a little. I love all three of those characters. They are the pillars to my collection. And I wanted to start covering some Wolverines and some Daredevils. Still trying to decide on how it's going to go, if it's going to be HWD, HDW, Fever, playing around with letters a little, or may come up with something totally different. But Thursdays are still on, and of course next Friday, another Eye for Indies. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment. If you're a subscriber, thank you. Please like and share. If you're not and would like more content, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next week.